It was a rainy evening in a quiet town where almost everyone knew each other. The streets were empty, and the sound of rain hitting the rooftops filled the silence of the night. A young college student named Zayan had just moved into an old apartment building near the edge of the town. The building was cheap, quiet, and very old. Most people avoided living there because strange rumors surrounded it. But Zayan didn't believe in ghost stories. He only needed a place to stay while he studied at the university. On his first night in the apartment, everything seemed normal. The rain continued outside while Zayan unpacked his bags and arranged his small room. The apartment hallway was long and dimly lit, with only a few flickering bulbs. There were 5 rooms on the floor, but only 2 were occupied. Zayan's room was number 304. At the end of the hallway, there was another door. The strange thing was that the door had no number. It was always locked. The paint on the door was old and scratched as if someone had tried to break it open before. Zayan asked the landlord about it earlier that day. The landlord had looked uncomfortable and quickly said, "That room is closed. Don't worry about it." But the way he said it made Zayan curious. Later that night, around 1:30 a.m., Zayan woke up suddenly. He heard a faint sound coming from the hallway. It sounded like someone knocking slowly on a wooden door. Knock, knock. Knock. Zayan sat up in bed and listened carefully. The knocking continued. At first he thought it might be another tenant, but then he realized something strange. The sound was coming from the locked room at the end of the hallway. Zayan opened his door slowly and stepped into the hallway. The lights flickered as the rainstorm outside grew stronger. The knocking sound stopped the moment he entered the hallway. The entire floor became completely silent. Zayan slowly walked toward the locked door. The closer he got, the colder the air felt. When he reached the door, he noticed something chilling. The door handle was slowly moving by itself. It turned slightly, then stopped. Zayan felt his heartbeat speeding up. Suddenly, a weak voice came from the other side of the door. "Help." Zayan froze in fear. The voice sounded like a young woman. "Please, open the door." Zayan stepped back slowly. The landlord had said the room was closed. If someone was inside, how could that be possible? The voice came again. "I've been waiting for someone." Zayan looked around the hallway, unsure what to do. The other apartment doors were closed and silent. No one else seemed to hear the voice. The handle suddenly twisted violently. Then everything went silent again. Zayan ran back to his room and locked the door. He tried to convince himself it was just his imagination. Eventually, he fell asleep again. The next morning, the rain had stopped. Zayan went to the landlord immediately. He told him about the voice coming from the locked room. The landlord's face suddenly turned pale. For a long moment, he didn't say anything. Then he whispered something that made Zayan's blood run cold. "That room has been empty for 20 years. Zayan stared at him in confusion. The landlord continued in a quiet voice. "A young woman used to live there. One night, she disappeared. The police searched the entire building but never found her. After that, strange things started happening. People heard knocking. Double quotes! Some heard a woman crying, and sometimes someone asking for help." Zayan felt chills spreading through his body. "So why not open the room? Ask it." The landlord shook his head slowly. "We try it, but every time someone opens that door, something inside the building disappears." That night, Zayan couldn't sleep. Around 1:30 a.m., the knocking returned. "Knock, knock, knock." The voice whispered again. "Please, open the door." Zayan slowly walked into the hallway again. The door, at the end, was shaking. The handle turned slowly, And then, the door unlocked by itself. It slowly creaked. Oh, darkness filled the room. Zayan looked inside. The room was completely empty, but suddenly he heard a whisper right behind him. "Thank you for opening it." Zayan turned around in terror. The hallway was empty. The lights suddenly went out. The door slammed shut, and the next morning, Zayan's apartment door was found open. His room was empty. And from that night on, people say there are two voices asking for help from the locked room.